Hello, I'm Danny, and welcome to Racing Life. The Alpha 003 version is now available to download for the first time on itch.io on Windows. The game is free, so don't hesitate to check it out. Let's take a tour of the version and see what's new. The first thing that you'll be able to see is the new UI we've worked on. The whole game is now on a single Unity scene, as the other old menus didn't have any real purpose for this version. Upon starting the game, you will be granted with the homepage. On the left you can see the QWERTY layout for the game. If you have a AZERTY keyboard layout, use ZUSD instead of WASD. Most of the other buttons should stay the same. On the middle you can click on the button to be redirected on our itch.io page, where you can leave us your thoughts on the current version of the game. Keep in mind that it is still a prototype and many features are still to come. And finally, on the right you have a button to disable or re-enable post effects in case your PC struggles too much. There is also the continue button that closes the main menu. You can also do this by pressing escape. The retry button resets the scene, very useful to put the objects on their original position on the map. And the exit button closes the game. Once you're driving, you'll notice the speedometer that has been reworked since the last version. Speaking of driving, the main feature of this version is the most important of the game, driving physics. You can drive the car with the arrow keys and enable the handbrake with the spacebar. In case you're stuck or on your roof, press R. We aimed for arcade driving physics that are simple to pick up but hard to master. When the car goes over its grip limit, it starts to slide and go into drift mode. You can manually enable drift mode by applying the handbrake. This can let you quickly change direction in case you took the wrong path in the open world, for example. Be aware, as different surfaces can bring you different levels of grip. If you hit a wall too hard, the car will enter crash mode for a few seconds. During that, the car will be unable to accelerate and will completely lose control. The duration of the crash increases if you happen to hit something else during crash mode. The Dacia Duster is a rather slow car for today's standards. This is how you should expect it to drive like in the final game. There might be some gameplay changes until then. There has been a lot of cars that were slower than this, especially in the first decades of automobile history. If you find the car too slow, we've added a special feature for you. By pressing U, you can open the customization menu that lets you change the car's colors, but also its performance. This element is the one where we expect the most feedback, so don't hesitate to try out different stats and push the car to its limits. 10 colors are available, 9 coming back from the previous version and a new fusion red color. The different stats have an influence on how the car drives. The tire type defines the general grip of the car on the road and how well it handles while driving off-road. In the current version, roads have 100% grip and the rest of the terrain is at 50% grip. A car with grippier tires will be easier to steer without drifting, but even the slick tire is prone to drifting if you push the car over its grip limit. Acceleration is the estimated time it should take for the car to go from 0 to 100 km per hour. The lower it is, the faster the car will reach its top speed. The top speed stat is self-explanatory. Note that gears are automatically calculated, so the car respects its acceleration time regardless of its top speed. The weight is an interesting stat. A heavier vehicle will push obstacles easier and will be more durable in the race, while a lighter vehicle will still better and have way more grip, which makes it easier to go through the corners with decent speed. Also, a heavier car will be less prone to enter crash mode. The gear number is another self-explanatory stat. In racing life, each gear has a linear acceleration. For example, a car with one gear will take the same time to go from 0 to 100 km per hour compared to the time it takes from 100 to 200 km per hour. Don't hesitate to experiment by yourself with this stat so you can see the effects it has. For now, the gearbox is automatic, but in the future you will have the choice to change gears manually or automatically. In general, over 100 km per hour, cars with more gears tend to take longer to accelerate to their max speed. The final stat is also a very interesting one, is the drivetrain. This changes how the car feels during a drift. Each drivetrain having pros and cons. Front-wheel drive makes the car understeer a lot if you manage to put it into drift mode. But it is the easiest drivetrain to master as you can really lose control with this one. Rear-wheel drive, on the other hand, is the trickiest to drive when you're drifting, due to the car having more inertia. It is also the one which enables you to make great stunts and spins. You might need to train a lot with this drivetrain, as it is the one that was used in pretty much every car in the first decades of automotive history. All-wheel drive is a balance of the other two. It is a bit more slidey than front-wheel drive, but you can easily control the car while still being able to pull some stunts. All stats combined will make your car feel completely different when you apply the stats by pressing the button. If you want to go back to the Duster's base stats, press reset. This version also features a brand new 3D model for the Dacia Duster that mixes low poly modeling with pixelized textures. We hope you'll like the style, as we will try to keep it for the other 3D models in the game, including cars, map assets and more. By the way, the project is not linked with Dacia brand. We just like the idea of driving a completely normal car and change its stats to godlike speeds. We also added two cameras. The first one can be moved around the car with WASD, and by pressing C you can go to a fixed HUD cam. Cameras will be improved in the future as well. We know how important it is and how different it can make our driving physics feel. Let's move on to the dev map. This is a place that lets you test out different scenarios, so we can make sure the car is great in all conditions. As you can see, since Alpha 002, it has seen many evolutions, starting with a day and night cycle. This will let you drive in different times of day, with some elements of the map lighting up. The time for a full day and night cycle is shorter compared to the final game. This feature will be improved in future versions. As in the previous version, you can drive in a handling course, a narrow track that is great to learn how the car steers and drifts. The off-road course lets you enjoy the suspension physics, while also testing driving on a more slippery surface. The Mini-City has two purposes. The first one is being a tight track with plenty of low-speed turns. This is the ideal place to test out the difference between different car weights. The second purpose of this area is to feature a parkour that requires you to be precise and focused. This part of the map has seen quite a few changes to adapt to the new physics. The goal is to get to the highest tower of the map. If you fall over, you have to climb back again, from the beginning. To complete the parkour, we advise you to reset the Duster's stats, and do not hesitate to use the cameras to their full potential in different situations. We are also introducing a new section of the map. We call it the stunt zone. This area is full of ramps and fun items that let you test the car's physics in extreme scenarios. The dev map now also features a background city, but it doesn't matter very much as you are absolutely not supposed to go there anyways. Wink wink! You want to install the game and test the driving yourself? Thank you for your interest. In the description of this video you'll find our itch.io page, where you can download the game for your Windows computer. Once the zip file is on your PC, extract the folder where you want. Then, in that folder, just open the racinglife.exe file, and there you go. The folder takes around 80 megabytes of storage space. If you get the dangerous file warning, do not worry, this is due to the fact that we are unlocked developers from Windows and antivirus services. You can still run the file as it is completely safe, as long as you've downloaded the game on the official link. We hope you'll enjoy the new update. This is by far the one that took us the most time to develop yet. Don't hesitate to leave us a constructive comment here or on our itch.io page, and if you like the project, talk about it to your friends and family. If you want to share gameplay footage, we are totally okay with it, as long as you put our itch.io page in the description of your video or article. Also, you can share your creations in our forum on itch.io. It will be a pleasure for us to look at them. Thanks to everybody who already played the prototype so far. Your feedback is valuable, especially in the early stages of the development. We expect to take less development time for the next version that will add more gameplay features. Stay tuned for more info. This was Racing Life Alpha 0.0.3 version. Have fun driving in the duster!